The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to generate a random number array using LabVIEW without using a for loop, using some of the signal processing tools that we have. As usual, let's begin by creating a new VI, and let's go to the block diagram. Control E will usually get us there. See if we can find something that's useful for generating uniformly distributed random numbers. Let's right-click here. Signal processing sounds promising. Signal generation looks good. Here's one called uniform noise. That probably works reasonably well. If we read the help file on this, we find that it generates an array of length samples and that has an amplitude that goes from minus whatever this value is to plus whatever this value is. And we have a seed. If we want to generate pseudo-random numbers that always start at the same spot, we can put in a positive value here. If we want it to randomly update the seed, we can put a negative number here. At the default's -1, so we will leave it at -1. But we do need our array length, so let's create a control here, and we'll call that array length. Again, if you type before you double click on the thing or click outside of the area, it will work fairly well. For the amplitude for this, since we want our numbers to be between 0 and 1, and this one goes from minus whatever this value is to plus whatever this is, we could put in 1 and then take the absolute value of everything, but probably a slightly more elegant way to do this is to set for the amplitude that we want. We'll create a constant and we will put 0.5. So now the values it will generate will be between positive 0.5 and negative 0.5. If we want it to go between 0 and 1, we will need to shift this, so let's add 0.5 to it. And the easiest way to do that is we will just add, and we could either keep things separate, or if we want to always have it centered between 0 and some number, we can actually just connect those two together and then connect our output here. And now it will take and scale it between negative 0.5 and 0.5 and then shift it up by 0.5. The same sorts of statistics that we did before we can do here. So let's go to our mathematics and our probability and statistics. We'll do standard deviation and variance. And as long as I'm on a clicking spree, we will go and find RMS as well. And it just did the very annoying thing where it connects something that you put together. Control B will get rid of the bad wires once you delete the one that you don't want. So we can click on there, and we can click on there. Again, since I want to see lots of sig figs on this, what I will do is I will do the first one and right click and create an indicator, and mean is good enough title for it, so let's go here. Looks like the default for array length is 128. We'll have to fix that. The mean, again, we'll want to stretch that out so we've got lots of sig figs, and then we go to the display format, and again we will edit that so that it's got 12 points after the decimal point, like that. And then we will create two more of them by control dragging, or again on the Mac option dragging. And then we will retitle them STDEV and RMS. And you could get fancy and space them equally and everything else. While we're here at the array length, we want the default to be 100. So we will start with 100 and we will right click, data operations, make current value default. Okay, so now we needed our standard deviation and our RMS. like that. And there's standard deviation and RMS like that. So let's go ahead and run this and see what it looks like with an array of 100. We've got a few there, and it's around 0.5 for the mean. But again, if we want to do 100,000, we can do 100,000 without too much trouble. And if we want to go to 1,000,000, we can go to 1,000,000. And with modern computers, it goes about as fast as you click on it. So there we have it. It works quickly and behaves just as our for loop one does, but only has a signal generator in there. And of course, it's very easy if you wanted to have this be go from 0 to 2. If we change that to 1 there and then run it, the mean comes out very close to 1. So it's our choice as to whether we want that a constant on the block diagram or if we wanted to put it as a control for varying things. LabVIEW gives you lots of options. This is just one way to go about doing these things.